Hello, Ray Phoenix here. Welcome back to Let's Play Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles. We're back in the swamps of Naboo again, and look at this! Droids! Remember back when these guys were a thing? Well, here they are again. They're back, and they're in greater numbers too, and they're pissed this time for just rapidly shooting blasters at us. We'll have to defend for ourselves, but these droids are still just as weak as they were before. They were wimpy, which is why, they lose. They lose easy to us. Whoa, look at that. One guy just uppercutted us. Man, if droids really had that kind of power in the movies, droids would win easy. So we're still in the swamps. As you can see here, there's droids everywhere. There's stuff to collect. People seem to like to leave things in the swamps. Maybe I should go to a swamp someday in real life. If you trek around swamps, you never know what you could find. Maybe I'll find something rare. Maybe I'll find some of those Xbox games I want. Or maybe I'll find the GameCube version of Rayman Arena and Rayman 3 on there. Yeah, maybe I'll find that. I had a friend of mine one time that ran out in the middle of the woods once, and he actually found a case of Coors Light out in there, and it was completely unopened, so he drank it out there in the woods. I don't know. You can't really taint a can of something. If something's in a can, it can't really be tainted unless you do something at the factory, which is very hard to do. So it's deflected the shot back at that guy there. Look at that. They have the bazooka droids. Do you remember when we dealt with those earlier? Looks like it's got a lightsaber power up too. Those bazooka droids are like this. I don't think you can deflect bazooka shots. You can't deflect. I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier, but you can only deflect laser shots, laser blast shots, projectile shots like bullet weapons or those bazooka things can't be deflected. It'd be awesome if you could deflect it, or if you could use the Force to send it back at them, kind of like in that Star Wars Jedi Knight games. I remember I actually did that one time. I was having trouble getting to a duel one time in a game in one of those Jedi. It was Jedi Academy. I think I had to fight some boss. You had to get a lightsaber duel with some boss. I kept losing to her. I kept getting killed by her. So then eventually I just gave up and did like an Indiana Jones thing where I just took out my bazooka, blasted her with it, and I ended up winning the fight for doing that. Yeah, so unexpected again, like something Indiana Jones would do. So I'm just gonna wait here and, oh look at that, it's like some sort of droid complex thing. And look at that, I got a longer Schwartz now to fight off these guys, these red droids. They seem to be using the red droids in abundance now. I don't think we'll be seeing any more blue droids anymore. Remember the blue droids? Those ones that didn't have weapons? We're not gonna see those ones anymore. I don't even know what the point of the blue droids are. They don't have any weapons. They just get easily killed by us. It's like sending a sitting duck out in a battle kind of thing. So you see here, there's still a lot more of them. I think we're using up our Force. My Force is pretty much all used up. I'm just really liberal with the Force. But again, the Force is supposed to be infinite, all around. It doesn't really make much sense why you could run out of Force. Kind of like it didn't make much sense why in the Spider-Man game from 2002, the 2002 Spider-Man movie game, why you could run out of webbing in that game. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man just has unlimited webbing. He just shoots webs from his body. So you'd think he'd be able to, not run out of web, just use web as much as possible. But apparently not there. It's got a full recharge, I think, of Force powers. So I could just, liberally use my Force powers. I could also upgrade them too in the game. I've invested a lot of my upgrades into the health. So that way I could, have more health. Because health is the most important thing, obviously. I didn't even use very many Force powers when I first played for this game. It was only later when I discovered how great the Force powers are. It's also because I play as other Jedi too. And Mace Windu just has the best Force moves in the game, as I stated earlier. That's why he's the easiest, or not necessarily the easiest character, but he's one of the best characters to use in this game for that very reason. He's really good at dueling because of that too, which will really come in handy at the end of the game. I'm not sure I mentioned this before, but for the Jedi you select in the game, you have to play the whole game as a Jedi. You can't switch Jedi characters during the game. You have to play the entire game as that Jedi. You can use the same save file though, but if you choose a different Jedi, you have to start back at level 1, and you have to go through each game, complete each level as each Jedi. So yeah, that's why I'm doing this whole LP as Mace Windu, because if there's one Jedi I'd want to be using in this game, it would be Mace Windu. And so we got those large droids again. Those droids were bosses at the end of that one level, if you recall. But now they're just throwing them at us like they're, like they're just regular enemies. And look at that, we're gonna have to do some scaling. We have to climb up those ledges, those ledge things. I remember this part was really, really rips your hair out. But then again, Mace Windu doesn't have any hair, so, I guess it doesn't really matter much. A lot of characters in this game don't have a lot of hair, except for Qui-Gon Jinn, so I guess it doesn't really matter for most of them. I wonder if it's really, I wonder if this is what the Force really does here. The Force really allowed him to jump so high and jump and scale ledges, or maybe they're like, or maybe, you know, are Jedi supposed to be natural acrobats or something like that? That's kind of what you have to do to get through this. Then again, I never really knew Jedi much to be acrobats, at least in the original trilogy, I never really got that much. Okay, Luke did do some slight acrobatic stuff in Empire Strikes Back when he was training with Yoda, and Yoda didn't even teach Luke any lightsaber skills at all. It's just Force stuff, you know, the Force flows through you, you know, that kind of stuff. And the only time Luke used his lightsaber, Yoda even said, your weapons, you'll not need them. That's when he fought Darth Vader and cut Darth Vader's head off, only to find his own head underneath Darth Vader's helmet. You know, that's considered to be one of, you know, like one of the most intriguing. I remember I was pretty intrigued when I saw that back when I was a little kid. I saw Empire Strikes Back when I was a little kid, back a long time ago. I don't even remember when it was exactly when I first saw Empire Strikes Back. It was just way so long ago. Those Star Wars movies, the original trilogy and Phantom Menace, those Star Wars films are ingrained into my DNA because I watched them so much. They're permanently carved into my mind. I could recite those movies or act out those movies at my own will. I do it all the time. I sleep. I watch those movies in my mind. And I guess they're exactly the same as what Simple Jack calls head movies. You know, you're gonna be in my head movies. Yeah, they're exactly. Well, maybe they are like that. I don't know. Then again, the dreams. I mean, the world of dreams often is better in the world of, you know, real life. At least in my experiences, it is. Sure, I get nightmares a lot of the time too. But I find there's, you know, some dreams actually are quite, you know, like heavenly pleasures. That's why I came up with a theory that I think the dream world might be afterlife. And when you go to sleep, you're communicating with the afterlife. Now I sound like something Jedi would come up with, some strange philosophy, some like Jedi philosophy of like, you know, you could come back after death kind of thing. Then again, I kind of trained myself to be a Jedi for playing this game. If you want to get through a game as a Jedi, you have to think like a Jedi. And to think as like a Jedi, you pretty much have to be a Jedi. Pretty much, you have to pretty much act as a Jedi, which is how I've been. I've been in character as a Jedi for like, you know, a few months now as I've been playing this game of practicing. I did do a lot of practicing of this game before I went ahead and did this LP. So yeah. Of course, I've trained myself to be like a Jedi, think like a Jedi. I've also been getting all the side effects of being a Jedi, too, where I start to think in strange, you know, philosophies, as I said earlier. Maybe there is life after death. Maybe there is some sort of force, some all that powerful force that surrounds us and binds us together. And at the same time, whenever I see a droid in real life giving me trouble, I have the urge to take out my lightsaber and destroy it, only to find I don't have a lightsaber in my belt on account of lightsabers don't exist in real life, and that there's no such thing as the Force. I mean, Mr. Spock would say the Force is illogical, which Mr. Spock is kind of right on that part. The Force is very much illogical. And these are those bugs, you're saying bugs after us, and they have like killer Venus fly traps or something, whatever you call those things at us. This is killer plants. It almost look like that like PD Piranha thing from Super Mario Sunshine. Yeah, Super Mario Sunshine was kind of overrated in my opinion. I didn't think Mario Sunshine was one of the best Mario games there was. I like Super Mario 64 a lot more. And I just realized something. I was watching a video of Super Mario World the other day on YouTube, and then I realized that there's parts in that game where Mario goes underwater and he just breathes for long periods. He's like under the water for long periods of time. He just breathes as if it's nothing. And then I said, oh yeah, I remember. That's back in the days when Mario could just, back in the 2D 16-bit or the 2D pre-3D days of Mario, when Mario could just breathe underwater for as long as, you know, time would allow, and he could just, you know, be perfectly fine, as if he had gills or something like that. But of course, Mario obviously lost that skill when he transitioned to 3D. Then he started to have, you know, like he could only breathe underwater for, you know, limited amounts of time. And so we're fighting Gungans. I guess a lot of people hate the Gungans would love to see this. You know, we're fighting against Gungans. The people who hate you, Gungans aren't that annoying of a species. It's just Jar Jar kind of ruined it for everyone. Everyone hates Jar Jar Binks. I'm surprised they gave him so many roles in Clone Wars. And oddly enough, he's not actually that annoying in Clone Wars. But that maybe that's just me. I don't think Jar Jar is that annoying as people say he is. And then I remember the classic game room people, the Mark and Dave of the old classic game room used to come with stories that, oh, Jar Jar was running around and he got killed by something. And then I think some show on Tech TV did something similar to it. That was kind of stories about how Jar Jar would die or something like that. That's why they gradually got rid of Jar Jar as the movies went on. Like, I think Jar Jar only says like one thing in Revenge of the Sith. He only appears in like 2 scenes in that entire movie. Yeah, So yeah, people typically bash the Gungans. Like in the game Empire at War kind of bashed Gungans a bit by saying that the Gungans are weak and they're inferior. They can't really fight against the Empire very well. So we need the rebels to come there and fight for them. Something that, I don't know, that was a few years ago when I watched Super Vader Man's Let's Play of Star Wars Empire at War. Empire at War was pretty interesting. It's like a strategy game based on Star Wars. I thought that's a pretty interesting game. You play as the rebels, but you lose all the time when you play as the rebels. It's easy as the Empire. There's the Grinch. The Grinch is making a deal with us. I think we make a deal with the Grinch. Can you really trust the Grinch? That green guy is gonna steal Christmas from us? So yeah, this is Ray Phoenix signing out.